If you guys are spending mad money getting your songs mixed and mastered, I'll tell you what, it can be a waste of money if you are in your learning phases of producing. So today, I'm going to show you how you can mix and master your own songs very quickly. That way you can save a ton of money and have a full finished, great sounding product by the end of your production. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that today. But first, make sure you like and subscribe if you want to see more videos on how you can become a better producer, DJ, and all the new specs, everything about music. We also have our own website, prodjacademy.co, where we have tons of videos like this to help you crush the producing game. But right now, I'm going to show you guys how to set up your template so you can easily mix while producing. So first thing we're going to do, I have this song here that I'll just show you kind of like what we'll be working on, called Never Coming Back with My Fiance. We have a new project called Groove Affair, so make sure you follow us on Instagram. Yeah, it sounds something like this.
You fight for something that you just can't have. I owe you nothing, but I'll hold your hand. You're on your knees and now you know I'm never coming back. You keep begging and begging, but I'm never coming back.
Cool, so y'all have an idea. As you can tell, the song is pretty dry. The vocals are dry, not a lot of reverb going on. Just we made this song in one night, and so now it's time to get this thing mixed so we can put it out for the world to hear. So the first thing that we're gonna do, if you're following along, have an empty slate set up on Ableton. Make sure there's no tracks or anything like that, because I will show you how to set everything up right now. So first things first, we're going to create a return track, and we will name this one Drum Room. Okay. And then we'll create another return track, and then we will name this one Room Reverb. And then we'll create another return track. We will name this one Long Reverb. I'll show you what all these do here in a second as we set these up. I just want to get all the names down so we can fly through these. And then we'll do another return track.
One eternity later.
And we will name this one Trip Delay, another return track. Then we'll name this one 1/8 delay. And then we'll set up another return track. And we will name this one Vocal Delay. And then we'll set up another return track, Stereoizer. And then we'll set up another return track, and we will name this one Effects Reverb. And then we'll set up another return track, and we will name this Parallel Compression. Okay. Now, first things first, we'll change all the color to make it look nice and neat. That looks pretty good. So we'll take our drum room. As you can tell, the drum room will definitely be for our drums, and we'll throw in a reverb. And the drum room is really meant to just kind of make your hats and all these other drums just sound a little bit more full. And the way that we do that is just by giving it a little extra tail. We're going to change this delay down to like 800 milliseconds, just so it's very quick. And with all of these sends, all of our dry wet signals are going to be set up at 100%, because we don't want any dry signal going through, because the dry signal is already coming through in our main track. So the diffusion network, just to kind of explain, input filter is what's coming in. We don't want any of the low end coming in on these reverbs. And then if there is still low end that is pushing through, this diffusion network is going to kind of make sure that it's not in the actual reverb. So I'll show you what this drum room sounds like. So this main hat right here. So you can kind of hear it in context. That kind of sounds nice. So you can kind of hear what it's doing without it. Very dry. Just giving it a little bit more tail. You could even turn the reverb down just a little bit more if you wanted to. But I think I kind of like it right here. We'll go in later on in the full video to like really go through the whole song and really start to send stuff. But right now I'm just kind of showing you how you set it up. The next thing we have is our room reverb. So we're going to throw on another reverb, and we'll do the same thing, take out the lows, and then we'll change the decay more to like 2 seconds and 30 milliseconds. And then this will send like some of our, just some things that we want a little bit more, like some sounds that you don't want to end abruptly. Like I think maybe like in this section. So you can kind of hear how this thing just ends super abruptly. So if we sent some room reverb to it, not only does it make the sound more full, but it also helps kind of like transition it a little bit better. So that sounds good. The other thing we have is the long reverb. So we'll do the same exact thing, low cut. And then this one we'll do like 4 seconds. And kind of same idea. Make sure the dry wet is all the way up at 100% on both of these. So just preference. You could like send maybe your vocals to the longer reverb. So it just kind of gives it that extra length. Now you can play around. You don't have to use the Ableton stock reverbs. I actually, in this room reverb, I think it would be cool to have a Valhalla room, and we'll compare the two. Maybe we'll do like a dense room and then change this to like a plate and do maybe an A plate. So 2 seconds. The mix is at 100%, so let's just kind of compare with the same example. And then compared to our other reverb. I like the ending of this. Kind of gives it a little bit more of the highs. We could probably do the same thing by just changing the diffusion network on that. And then for the trip delay, so we have this delay. So we'll throw in a delay. We could either use the 3 synced or the 6 synced, and then we'll do the dry wet all the way and change the feedback, maybe depending on like how long you want it to go. It's just like up to like the sounds or what you're using it for. But let's say like we're in the production phases and we're like, oh man, like this would be like super cool. Kind of like create like a build right here. If we were to take, I don't know, some of these drums. And we wanted to like build it up and use this like trip delay right here. So let's see what that sounds like right here. Then we have a 1/8 delay. So we'll put on another delay and we'll go on this 2 section, turn up the dry wet, and maybe you can turn the feedback down. The 1/8 delay might be good for like vocals just to give it a little bit extra length and like effects. So maybe we'll send this to the...
You fight for something that you just can't have. You fight for something that you just can't have.
That sounds pretty good. I do like that delay for the vocals. So we could even duplicate that for the vocal delay. But you could also use this for... So you got the idea of that delay. Then we have the vocal delay. We could use something else on here, like maybe an H delay. H delay. Maybe ping pong this and then put in as like a 1/16 dotted. Turn the feedback down quite a bit and then cut out some of the highs with this cut out some of the lows with this high pass filter. And then dry wet signals all the way up. And then if we send our vocals to this, where's my vocals? Here we go.
You fight for something that you just can't have. You fight for something that you just can't have. You fight for something that you just can't have.
So that sounds pretty cool. You could even go as far as throwing on a compressor as well. This will be kind of difficult to like have in as like a template because you'll need to sidechain this to the actual vocals. So vocal group pre-FX, because we don't want to get everything before the actual effects, and then sidechain this down.
You fight for something that you just can't.
That way it's compressing the effects while the vocals are playing, so that's clean. And then it'll come in at the tail end, so.
You fight for something that you just can't have.
Next thing we got is the stereoizer. So with this one, it's just creating stereo width. So we'll throw in a delay. And then we'll take this timing off and then unlink these. And then this one we'll have at 5 seconds. And then this one we'll do at 20 milliseconds. So 5 milliseconds and 20 milliseconds. Turn the dry wet all the way up, feedback all the way down, and then the filter all the way off. So if we were to do this kind of same thing with the vocals.
You fight for something that you just can't have.
I have like backings to these. So if I just had like one dry vocal and I wanted to spread out the sound a little bit, add another layer and spread out the sound a little bit, it would sound like this.
You fight for something that you just can't have. You fight for something that
So
you
very
just
mono.
can't have. You fight for something that you just can't have.
Just gives it that extra width. That one, you won't really be able to tell the difference on a lot of things, but it really helps throwing, like sending some of your synth there, just to kind of give it a more fuller sound. The next thing would be this effects reverb. So we'll throw on a reverb and then do the same thing, except this one we're going to have at 20 seconds. So this will be a really long reverb. And we'll cut out the lows, diffuse maybe some of the highs, and then dry wet all the way up. And then this crash right here, like when we have this effects, this crash right here. So if we were to send this to our effects reverb, so in context,
I'm never coming back.
just sounds much better, I think, and it's easy to just send them to that effects reverb. Last but not least, this parallel compression. We will use a CLA 2A, and then otherwise I'll use the CLA. Otherwise, Ableton's compressor works completely fine. Compressor. And then if we just, I'll turn this one off right now, turn the threshold all the way up, and then the flat, we'll make it super flat. And so we'll throw our kick and maybe like some drums that we want a little bit more punchy. We'll send those there. So our kick. You can hear this is giving it a little bit more top end. I'm also going to throw an EQ because I don't want like low end coming in. So I'm going to make sure that the low end is cut out of there. I just want the highs. So it's just giving that extra little top end without width. Nice. And then like, yeah, it's like I said, drums or percussion, like this thing. Giving a little extra volume as well as just a little bit more punch. But yeah, so if you have your own template saved up, make sure to save your template as default. So whenever you start a new project, these will always pop up in your template. The way you do that is you click File, and then you click Save Live Set as Default Set. So in the full video, I'll also show you how to set up a template with all of these kick groups, the synth groups, vocal groups, clap groups, drum groups, perks, and effects, as well as like how to set up reference tracks. That way you can kind of reference your music and fill out all of the elements super fast and create music fast. But yeah, hopefully this helped. There's tons more videos to show you how to produce and really crush the music game. So make sure you follow us on IG, all platforms, and I'll see y'all soon. Let's go.